And so this video begins at this rest stop. There's my rental car, the Green Machine, Interstate 75, and I am now back in Georgia. Look at that, passing through Georgia today because I have to go back to Florida to pick up my car. Yes, all part of this moving plan. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time. I am Tampa J, and I am traveling through Georgia today to go back to the Florida homestead to close that up, pick up my car, and also back in September 2024, I bought the most expensive concert tickets of my life. There's a metal show back in Tampa, and I gotta get to that. That's all been part of this plan, this moving plan. So that's why I'm starting this video in Georgia. That's why I'm traveling through Georgia today. I'm firing up the camera. I want to check something out. I got all day to get to Florida. For years, I have passed a sign on the side of Interstate 75 at an exit a little ways down, actually we're about 15 minutes from there, an attraction sign that reads Civil War Tunnel. A Civil War attraction right off at Interstate 75. I've passed for years and I've always been fascinated by Civil War tunnels and railroad. It's a railroad tunnel. And today is the day I'm gonna check it out with you guys. Let's go check this out. I'm also just gonna vlog my journey back to my Florida home tonight. I'm gonna be staying there. I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, all your kind words the past several months with this transition, moving to Tennessee. Everyone's just been so awesome to us, and I just couldn't thank you guys enough. I wanted to make sure to say that right up here in front of the video. And I hope you enjoy the video. All right, that's it. Let's get down the road. There's much ahead. And I decided to duck inside the Georgia Visitor Center to use the facilities, and I found a lot of cool stuff to look at, including this map, brochures. Also, there's someone in here playing live music. And check this out. Sounds really good, by the way. They have movie posters of films that were filmed in Georgia. Who remembers a few weeks ago when I visited the Hollywood of the South in Covington, Georgia? I didn't realize Jumanji, The Next Level, was filmed in Georgia. I know Remember the Titans was. There's actually a scene filmed in downtown Covington. And, of course, all the Hunger Game movies. Downtown Atlanta. Welcome, y'all. See you later. Bye-bye. So the Civil War Railroad Tunnel is 12 miles from the Georgia Visitor Center once you cross the Tennessee-Georgia line. Just 12 miles. And I have exited Interstate 75. I actually got off of exit 345, and I'm heading towards the town called Tunnel Hill, which may be named after the tunnel I'm going to. Stopped here. Saw this abandoned structure. Looks like an old convenience store, perhaps gas station. Sits right across from my current convenience store right there. This is Chattanooga Road. Thought this was cool looking. And the door is wide open. Just sitting here in the tall grass. That's what I like to see. Stuff like this. So cool. And right across the street, this little supermarket convenience store, it has an old Dr. Pepper sign. Shortstop Market, Dr. Pepper. From Waco, Texas. And I have reached Tunnel Hill, Georgia. Tunnel Hill Main Street and South Varnell Road. Someone's mowing the lawn over here. Bear with me. Check out this church on the hill. Very picturesque. And look behind me. Tunnel Hill Bible Baptist Mission. Looks like an old warehouse. Yeah, so not much going on in Tunnel Hill right here. There's a Tunnel Hill Depot, and then on the other side, up and over the train tracks, is the attraction we're going to. I just wanted to set this up. The actual railroad tunnel is through this set of hills over here. This hill right over here. So that's the area we're going to. Just wanted to set this up so you can see what's going on here. Very small town named after the actual tunnel, Tunnel Hill. Historic W&A Tunnel and Heritage Center, Georgia Civil War Heritage Trail. We're taking a left right here. And the W and the A stand for Western and Atlantic Railroad, and that's who this tunnel belonged to. I just parked over here in the Welcome Center parking lot. There's several pull-through spots in case you have an RV or a truck. I parked the green machine way out there. There's quite a few signs to read here. We're going to do that before we head into the Welcome Center and figure out exactly where the tunnel is. There's also a trail over here. That could be where the tunnel is, or it could be further down this road. I'm not so sure. I do see a covered bridge over there I want to check out eventually. This is really nice, really quiet out here. If people weren't mowing the yard, it would be dead quiet. May 7th, 1864, the federal forces under Major General W.T. Sherman, Sherman's March, began the campaign for Atlanta by seizing Tunnel Hill. Howard's 4th AC, having marched from Catoosa Springs, drove Wheeler's cavalry from the railroad tunnel south to Mill Creek Gap. Palmer's 14th, I think that's cavalry, moving from Ringgold, U.S. Highway 41, which we were just on, supported Howard on his right and extended the federal front to I think that's Mill Creek Gap, where it joined left of 20th and Dogwood Valley. Bear with me. These operations were designed to engage the Confederate forces at Dalton, with McPherson's army moved from the west to Snake Creek Gap, 18 miles south of Tunnel Hill. So we got some pieces of what looks to be the original railroad line. There's a sign right here. What are Sherman neckties? Ooh, check this out. So I know Sherman pulverized everything from Atlanta all the way to the sea. So I'm guessing they deconstructed the railroad. And it says this display in front of you consists of one bent rail and two straight rails from the Civil War era. Wow. And also a sign here that talks about the Clisby Austin House, 400 yards southeast at the Big Spring, is the brick residence known as the Austin House. May 7th, 1864, the federal forces, that's Sherman, having seized Tunnel Hill, their first movement in the campaign for Atlanta, Major General W.T. Sherman, and I think it's William Tecumseh Sherman, had headquarters at the Austin House until May 12th. So Sherman was actually in the house. While here, Sherman learned that McPherson's forces had failed to cut the railroad at Resaca after seizing Snake Creek Gap. May 9th, whereupon the attempts to Rocky Face, Crow Valley, and Mill Creek Gap were dropped, and all federal units but the 4th, AC Stoneman's and McCook's cavalry, were shifted May 12th to the Resaca front via Villano and Snake Creek Gap. So there you have the Civil War history. A mouthful there. A lot of stuff to read and a lot of stuff to learn. I've learned already just walking up to the actual Welcome Center. And here's another historic plaque about Tunnel Hill. It says a lot of what we just read on those signs, and it shows you a picture of the Clisby Austin House where Sherman stayed. Here's the Confederate Brigadier General Nathan Bedford Forrest, which, as we know, is an ancestor to Forrest Gump. And there is General T. Sherman, William Tecumseh Sherman, right there, famous photo. Kind of like Napoleon. Here's a cool map to show you exactly where Tunnel Hill is. This is where we are. So Dalton, which is south of us. So the line moves south towards Atlanta. And a lot of these places were mentioned on those signs. Resaca, Tilton, Calhoun. All right, they're open. Hi, how you doing? All right, folks, so I have paid up. Admission price was $13 for the self-guided tour. There is an official tour with a tour guide for $15, $2 more, where you actually board a golf cart and you get special access to the Austin House and get to ride the golf cart through the tunnel. Decided to do the self-guided tour. I'm in a little bit of a hurry, but now that I know that I can do that and come back to the Tunnel Hill Museum and Tunnel, Civil War Tunnel, for just $2 more, maybe I'll do that sometime. But I'm just going to do the self-guided tour. This awesome museum is included. There are many relics from the Civil War inside this museum, including the Civil War era musket, the 1853 British Enfield rifle musket. It says on the sign above that this type was the Type 3 British Enfield rifle musket manufactured by John Edward Barnett and Sons from London, England. Barnett and Sons was known as the gunmaker to the Confederacy. Barrett signed a contract with the Confederate government early in the war. There's also a U.S. belt plate right there. I bought a replica of one of those at Stone Mountain, Georgia when I was a kid, and I still have it somewhere. Imported English buckle shoes, Civil War era. You see the horseshoe on the bottom? Like a horseshoe, right? And if you know anything about the Battle of Gettysburg, it was all about shoes. Several mannequins in here. Don't be too optimistic. The light at the end of the tunnel, maybe another train. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. A display of railroad tools. This right here is a railroad brakeman's switch wrench marked SCL and LAN. It was used from 1947 to 1969. So this is how they would switch the tracks. Look at this.
In 1970,
Whoa!
at the age of 86,
That
I
scared
was
me.
stripped of my Medal of Honor for being a civilian. It wasn't until 1977 that I was restored to the Medal of Honor role.
Okay, so this is Dr. Mary Walker, and she scared the crap out of me.
I am one of only 8 civilians to be awarded the Medal of Honor.
She was awarded the Medal of Honor, and here she is, actual picture of Dr. Mary Walker. She was a surgeon, an army surgeon.
Let the generations know that women in uniform also guaranteed their freedom.
Mary Edwards Walker, MD, born November 26, 1832, died February 21st, 1919, commonly referred to as Dr. Mary Walker, was an American abolitionist, prohibitionist, prisoner of war, and surgeon. She is the only woman to ever receive the Medal of Honor. And there's an actual picture of her Medal of Honor. Really neat. I had no idea about this history. It's really cool. The only woman to receive.
In 1870, I was arrested in New Orleans for wearing pants.
Whoa.
The police released me after they realized they had a Civil War hero in jail.
Wow. The Confederate troops didn't think too highly of Mary Walker either. Confederate Captain Benedict J. Sims, I think, said that we were all amused and disgusted at the sight of a thing that nothing but the debased and depraved Yankee nation could produce. A woman was dressed in a full uniform of federal surgeon. She was not good looking and of course had tongue enough for a regiment of men. End quote. So outside it referenced the Great Locomotive Chase. To be honest, I didn't know much about that until I read it on the sign, and look, we can learn about it here. And right here, this kind of lays out the Great Locomotive Chase. James J. Andrews and William Allen Fuller. And I should show you this because there are QR codes that you can take an audio tour along each stop, including information about the Great Locomotive Chase. I did not know there was a Walt Disney movie called The Great Locomotive Chase. I look forward to watching that, and look who is in it. Fess Parker, who played Davy Crockett. I've got to see that. In the bottom it says uncovered tools. So all these old railroad tools were found among this park. Not just railroad tools, but other tools as well. The restoration of the Chattooga Mountain Tunnel. I think that's the name of the tunnel we're about to see. There's a nice little timeline here, also a photograph. It looks like the construction of this tunnel began December 21st, 1836, and the timeline goes all the way to current times. It looks like May 9th, 2000, the tunnel opens to the public. So it's been open for 25 years on its 100. So this year is next year will be its 175th anniversary. All right, folks, so we're gonna make our way towards the tunnel. There's a train stop right here at the tracks at Tunnel Hill. I'll show you that in a second. I could have stayed in there all day. There were so many fascinating things that I was learning. In order to get to the tunnel, you could walk down this road over over the bridge, through the covered bridge, or you could drive. There's another parking lot down there, so you don't have to walk it. There's a parking lot just before the tunnel. I think I am going to drive down there. I look forward to driving through that covered bridge. Right there, there's a train. Look at that, that's cool. So there are present day railroad tracks running along the former railroad tracks. So there's gotta be another tunnel that cuts through the hill, or maybe it goes over. Maybe we'll see that too. And the Quisby Austin house is part of the tour. It is the actual house. It is not a recreation. This is the house that General Tecumseh Sherman stayed in for 6 days, and previous to that it was a Confederate hospital. It's probably haunted. And before leaving Tennessee, I picked up a 9-volt battery. If you caught yesterday's video, my EMF tester was dead, so I will be able to use that in the tunnel, looking for electromagnetic fields, unexplained energy, the sign of a ghost. And this right here is actually just a nature trail. If you want to take the long way, a 2-mile trek through the woods to the tunnel. 1-lane bridge. I got a sunroof, so check this out. I'm gonna go very slow. I don't think I've ever been over a bridge like this in Georgia. Oh wow, gotta go slow. Oh look, there's a tunnel over there. Little waterfall action. That was fun. That was really fun. Okay, so I think we immediately turn left over here. Yeah, right over here. There's another parking lot for the tunnel. So I've parked in the WA tunnel parking. Tunnel Hill. The Austin house, we actually have to go a little further down the road, so we will do that after the tunnel. And what a beautiful day in Georgia to go on an adventure like this. This is the trail leading up to the tunnel. I'm starting to see it already. Western and Atlantic Railroad Tunnel entrance with paid admission. We already did that. Parking area closed at dusk. A sign reminding you to go back to the Heritage Center and pay. And behind me, the road we just came down. You can actually see the covered bridge a little ways down the hill. We've got a lot of kudzu over here before the trees. Oh yeah, you can see the tunnel. So when I paid for my ticket, the gentleman said, let me go down and unlock the tunnel for you. They said I was the first person here today to see it, which is really nice. So it's a small parking lot. I recommend, if you don't want to walk a lot, take the golf cart tour, because you'll be on the golf cart the entire time. And it's only $2 more. And here we are before the first gates. Set of iron gates. The initials W, A. Check it out. That's where we're heading. There's also a present day tunnel to the railroad tracks we just saw to the left. So that's where the trains still go through. So I've got my EMF tester, also have my EVP recorder going. Yesterday, in yesterday's video, if you saw it, I did record some phenomenon, a ghostly sound in that video. That was my first ever catch on this thing. That was really weird, really spooky. This is beautiful. Georgia Heritage Project 2000. So 25 years ago, they opened it back up for the public. There's something written up here in stone. Oh wow, this is cool. So ooh, there's a cool breeze coming from the tunnel that just hits you, catches you off guard. Check it out. Wow. When I come back out, I'll see if I can ooh. What is that? I think it's just water dripping in the tunnel. Loud echo. Whoa, this is freaking cool. We got a little photo opportunity too as well. Working on the railroad. Wow. Look at this place. It is naturally cool in here. Instant AC. Yeah, so the water dripping startled me. Hear it? Wow, it's a long tunnel. Remember, don't be optimistic. That might not be a light at the end of the tunnel. It could be a train. Daylight, train light. Whoa! Oh yeah, that's right. He did warn me, and I forgot. There are motion sensor lights in here. So if you see one go on way down there, that means something probably ran right by it. I just activated that one. Look at this. This is freaking cool. I've never been in a tunnel like this. We're gonna walk the whole thing and see what's on the other side. Much ahead. Here we go. I was wondering how the golf cart would get through here. They've actually blacktop paved the tunnel, which is really nice. You can actually see better. I can see better of the tunnel on the camera monitor than in real life. It's got a nice low light setting. One of the main reasons why I love this camera. It's good for haunted houses. Ooh, look at my shadow. Okay, we've got some history over here. Some benches if you need to take a break. Let's see. It's hard to see. Maybe there's a light. No light here. Ooh, there's a door right there. Ooh, that's spooky. I don't want to fall in. Hold on, let me get my camera light. Got really dark. It's darker for me than it is for you. If I look into the monitor, I can see the tunnel. I can't see it from my eyes. My eyes haven't adjusted yet. It's really dark. Okay, check this out. Doesn't go too far. Cool. Okay, so during and after the Great Irish Potato Famine, hey, I had ancestors come over because of that, the United States saw an influx of Irish immigrants, especially to the American South, a major source of labor and income for these immigrants that settled in Georgia were the railroad construction projects of the 1840s and 1850s. This includes the construction of the Central of Georgia and the Western and Atlantic Railroad. The 138-mile Western and Atlantic Rail line stretches from Atlanta to the Chattanooga, with Tunnel Hill Station as one of the many depots. So it's saying here, picture of Irish rail workers posing on the track. I think that was in Utah though, but Irish immigrants did help build this tunnel. Someone's going to correct me, but Chattooga Mountain began on July 15th, 1848 with 2 teams of workers. And it looks like on Halloween 1849, this railroad was completed. Look at that, on Halloween. So there's no mention of this doorway, what it is. I can only imagine it was some kind of passageway, maybe to the tunnel on the other side, which is still an active railroad tunnel. Immigrants poured blood, sweat, and tears into this extraordinary engineering feat deemed a modern marvel of its time. It took a lot of time to do this. Just think about all the tunnels in America or around the world. I mean, we're below the earth. All by ourselves. I'll update you if I find anything over here. Whoa! Now you turn on. Okay. That's a quick one. Yeah, I'll update you if I find anything on these contraptions. I'm going to trigger some of these lights again so you can see the walls. Hello? Anyone down here? Anyone want to tell their story? I've got my box hanging on my wrist, my recorder. Whoa, dude. I keep forgetting those are a thing. Check out my shadow here. Oh my gosh. Take some very cool pictures in here. I think I'm almost halfway. I should have brought a flashlight. There are lights in here, but it would be cool to like, there you go. You can see the walls better here. It'd be cool to like shine the light in certain areas. Look at the rock. Also, the top is brick. So they laid brick on the top of the tunnel. There we go. Hello? I think we're about halfway. Civil War tunnel. The Great Train Chase went right through here. Look forward to checking more. Oh, wait, more history. Look forward to checking more about that. Let's see if the light comes on. There we go. Oh, here's a nice picture. The eerie green gives the tunnel a spooky coloring in the late afternoon. So come in here in the afternoon when the sun shifts and it's supposed to be spookier. Okay, so this talks about the paranormal history with this tunnel. I guess it says here it completed in 1849. Hold on. But it opened in 1850. The tunnel has seen a lot of history. That is a very short-tempered light. I'm going to get my phone back out. All right, I got my phone out. Over the years, visitors to our tunnel have experienced many things, from ghost stories to paranormal experiences. The museum has received reports of all kinds of activity from inside the tunnel from guests over the years. Well, they didn't warn me. Guests claim to see figures of people, hear the clanking of metal tools, hear whistles, and feel things inside the tunnel. Some of the paranormal activity inside the tunnel has been attributed to the workers who built it. The tunnel was built using Irish immigrant labor. I am Irish, a little bit. However, due to how those workers were treated at the time, there is no official record of how many people died during the construction of the tunnel. Could the whistles and metal clanking be the unrecognized victims of the tunnel's construction? I'll tell you what, I'll listen back to my EVP recorder like I did yesterday and see if I find anything like that. But now I'm halfway through the tunnel and I just learned that it's haunted. Go figure. I think it was my 5th great grandmother. Her name was creepy. Ezra Cluggish. She came from Northern Ireland in I think it was like 1839. It's about the same time as the Irish potato famine. So I do have I would say, somewhat recent Irish immigrant in my family. Oh, there's another door there. Where did that go? Very weird how they completed the entire railroad system on Halloween. And if you know anything about Halloween, it came from Ireland. So, okay, this is the power box. Ooh. We come in peace. I'm getting a really weird feeling. It's cold in here, but I'm getting cold chills on top of my cold chills. Dude, this tunnel just keeps going. This is really freaky, guys. I thought there would be people here. I didn't think I was going to have the whole thing to myself. I had no idea what I was getting into. Again, I just read the sign on Interstate 75 for all these years. This is really awesome. I should have done this sooner. What the hell? Oh, man. I about cursed. That scared the crap out of me. I couldn't tell what that was. These lights are delayed. And the cool thing, I was just referencing my ancestry. What the heck is that? Is there something in there? Holy crap, that's a deep hole. Stick your hand in there, huh? Cool. So, my 5th great grandmother from Ireland is buried in, man, I lost my train of thought. Didn't do that on purpose. Buried in Luray, Indiana, which is just north of Newcastle, off of State Road 3. It was founded by my ancestors who moved from Luray, Virginia, which is in that same line of family, and I found her signature, a record. I haven't seen it physically there, but I found her signature with her maiden name coming through Ellis Island, New York. So that's pretty fascinating. I love history. I love, my family history in the Civil War. So I just want to add that here. And very thankful for the Irish workers, not just the Irish, but the Chinese. They were indentured servants making our railroads here in the 1800s America. A lot of hard, rough labor. I mean, words can't even describe. You see how that light is turned on way down there? Again, they're motion activated. So that means something went by that light. It's on. Hello? Do you see it? Why did that light come on? One of the ghost hunting tools they recommend are motion activated lights. They actually sell them. This is its own ghost detecting tunnel. Why is that light on? Okay. I got to walk all the way down and back through the tunnel. What did I sign up for? $13. Oh, look at that number. I've been working on the railroad. That light didn't come on. I've been walking through this tunnel for about a day. Won't quit my day job. Dang it. That light is still on down there. That is weird. Yes, we're almost there to the other side. I'll take a little breather. I'm anxious to see what's on the other side of the tunnel. Here we go. It wasn't a train. It's real daylight. Yeah, you would not want to be here at night. That would be terrifying. You better have a lot of light. You're not supposed to come out here at night anyway. That would be crazy. Because that was pretty dark. Really dark. Almost midday, too. All right. Nice little trail. Might walk down the trail a little bit just to see what's down there. That's a longer walk than it looks. So be prepared. Again, ride the golf cart and you don't have to walk. Oh, you can read the tablet better on this side. So when I walk back, I'll read that. And this is the end of the former line right here. Just dead ends. Nice little cul-de-sac up there. Let's take a look up there. You can't go too much further. I'm wearing shorts. Got the kudzu here. Right here, you can't see them. It's hidden. But this is the current railroad line. If there were a train to go by, we get a nice little show before the tunnel. There it is. So neat. That was surprisingly, not surprisingly, but better than expected. And I have to walk back through it. Okay, so I actually took a picture of that on my phone so I could read it. I can't read it from here, but if I zoom in on my phone, I can read it. So it says, the excavation of the East End was begun August 25th, 1848, and the first opening affected October 31st, 1849. So it took a little over a year for them to construct the tunnel. The first train of cabs passed through on May 9th, 1850. Length of excavation. Now there's a little tree in the way. Can't really read that. I'm going to go over to the next slide. George W. Towns, governor. William Mitchell, chief engineer. Mr. Benjamin Morse, principal assistant engineer. Is that the Morse code? Mr. B.E. Wells, assistant engineer, and contractors, I.N.O.D. Gray Company. So that's all the engineers involved in making the tunnel. So there you have a little bit of the story when it opened, first train, and the people who built it right there. Also post that in my Instagram story if anyone wants to take a look. It'll be in there for about 24 hours or so. All right, I can't believe I did this. We're doing it again. Oh no, it's amazing. I love this stuff. Yeah, look at the green here. I see what they were saying. The sun just lights it up. Wow, that is so cool. Yeah, get your photos on this side or wherever the sun is. You know, get that light back on. Let's see, light it up for you. They have a mind of their own. You can see the water falling down the bricks right here. Got a little closer for you. See the water right there? It's pretty. You hear the birds out there. I hear a lot of noises. I'm just assuming it's water dripping. It's It's a nice little walk. It's cool in here too, so be prepared. If you come out here during the colder parts of the year, you're gonna want to wear at least a sweatshirt, maybe a coat, because it is probably, I'd say, almost 20 degrees cooler in here than outside. Specifically if you're on the golf cart, not walking, you're probably gonna want a sweatshirt, no matter what time of year it is. You can always take it off if you get too hot. All right, we're coming up to the light that stayed on and just lit up as I was hundreds of yards down on the other side. It is currently off, but it's this one up here to the right that stayed on. It was freaking me out earlier. Hello? Wonder what sent it off. This one right here. Wonder if it'll even go off now. There it goes. Could have been the water dripping. I don't know. Did that do it? I don't think that's enough to do it. But that definitely came on when I was all the way at the other end of the tunnel, as you saw. Like that one's on. Way down there is still on. See it? Still on. They have a mind of their own. Or something walked past it. The light at the end of the tunnel, thankfully, is not a train. Wow, that was one of my favorites. That was cool. It's a beautiful, beautiful, peaceful place. Got a little creeped out because I'm here by myself, but felt pretty peaceful. I'm sure people died making this. Back then, that was very common. So this could be a resting place for spirits. Look at the nails coming out here. So we came in peace, we leave in peace. Please, no one, follow me home. Always have to say that. They like to follow you home. All right, so I made it back to the green machine, which has Georgia plates, by the way, my rental car. Look at that. Picked it up in Tennessee. So I made it back to the parking lot. Actually, I'm gonna take a left over here, and just up the hill to the right is the Austin house. Oh, and that explains it. There is the golf cart tour. That next time I come back, when I do, I'll do the golf cart tour. There they go. Nice comfortable ride. Looks like they got plenty of seats in there. You could probably get at least 4 people on your tour, maybe 5. All right, so that's a private drive straight up the hill. Clisby Austin house to the right. Authorized vehicles only that way. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, we got a nice little parking spot. All right, so on the map it says parking at the Austin house. So I think we don't have to abide. I think we are an authorized vehicle. So I just parked kind of over here because I wasn't sure. I think that'll be all right. So here we are, and check this out. We got the park rules, and behind me, we've got an old general store with a Coca-Cola sign. This is right up our alley. Remembering the general store. So this is in tribute. During the mid to late 19th century, general stores were generally the first business establishments built in town. As successors to the trading posts which served the pioneers and early settlers, general stores were located at crossroads or in a village and served the surrounding community. So the first Walmarts. Now it's all locked up. It's just representing. Whoa!
In the Great Depression of the 1940s, Tunnel Hill was home to several different general stores. Clisby Austin opened the town's first general store about 1852 and operated it with 2 of his sons.
There you go.
The store was appropriately named Austin and Sons and opened with $1,500 worth of merchandise. For many years, the general store would also serve as a town post office as well as a local gathering spot.
That's cool. So the Clisby Austins had their own general store, so it all comes together.
Between 1852 and the Great Depression of the 1940s, Tunnel Hill was home to several different general stores. Clisby Austin opened the town's first general store. Okay, so they do have stuff in here. So this is part of the $2 more tour, the $15 golf cart tour. They did say that the walking tour would not get you inside the general store.
and the house. We can just walk around the house. So that is something you get for $2 more as well. Reverend Clisby Austin established the first Methodist church in Tunnel Hill. And this is where he lived. And during the Civil War, William Tecumseh Sherman, General Sherman, took it over for 6 days. This is nice. Kenneth and Barbara Halcomb, thanks for donating. And here's the house. Little entrance right here. Got some history before it. You can definitely tell it's from the 1800s. Look at that brick. I'm going to walk all the way around the house. Although we can't go inside, I think we can walk up on the porch and peek into the windows. The Clisby Austin house, constructed in 1848. They were building this house as they were building the tunnel right over there. Meadow Lawn is a prime example of an antebellum style home. A wooden plank walkway extended from the house to the nearby Western and Atlantic Railroad depot. There you go. When Civil War hostiles approached this area in 1863, the town of Tunnel Hill became an integral part of the Confederate Army hospital system. The resultant casualties of Chickamauga in September engulfed the limited Confederate resources. The Clisby Austin House was converted for the care of the wounded, the most renowned being General John Bell Hood, whose right leg is thought to be buried nearby. So the amputated General Hood's leg, and back in the Civil War, they were just tossing limbs out the window. Maybe landed right in here and maybe just buried below us, who knows. Over here to the right, Military Division of the Mississippi Army Headquarters. We might have a photo of General Hood. We showed him earlier. I don't know if he's on here. No. But there are several Army captains in general, including General Tecumseh. The dwelling's next role was that of Headquarters General William Tecumseh Sherman, who stayed in the house for a week in May 1864 during the opening actions of his famous Atlantic campaign. Mistakenly assuming he had surrendered his opponent, General Sherman pounded the supper table and proclaimed, "I've got Johnston dead." Clisby Austin sold the house and surrounding acreage during the war and moved his family back to the relatively safety of East Tennessee. Thanks to recent owners, Kenneth and Barbara Halcomb, the structure has been restored and today forms part of the Tunnel Hill Historic District. I've got the old barn over here with a piece of glass so we can look into the barn, and this history right here is all about the Reverend Clisby Austin Sr. In 1848, the 46-year-old Reverend Clisby Austin, a farmer and businessman, man from East Tennessee, arrived in New Village of Tunnelsville with his wife and 12 children. Made a lot of kids back then. He purchased 160 acres of established himself as a farmer. By 1850, Austin opened a store in Tunnelsville, and his 18-year-old son, James C. Austin, clerked there. In May of 1850, the first train passed through the tunnel, and the town was on the move. By this time, Tunnelsville had added a new depot, hotel, several mercantile stores, and a school, and in 1856, it was chartered as Tunnel Hill, Georgia. And it goes on to say that Austin served as postmaster here, and in 1862, towards the beginning of the Civil War, on July 13th, Austin sold this farm and his holdings in Tunnel Hill and began the process of moving back to Hawkins County, Tennessee. So, and now we actually enter the property. Very beautiful home. And a similar angle as we just saw in that photo. Built in 1848. Wow. It's an old one for sure. Now we can't go inside. Notice the two Civil War soldiers, kind of like foo dogs, before the door. Check out this door. Ooh, my gosh.
1848.
You got me again.
Clisby Austin, and originally had 120 acres of land. During the American Civil War, the house was used as a Confederate hospital between mid-1862 and 1863.
Thank you. It got me again. Those scare the crap out of me. Between the lights.
Nurse Kate Cummings would serve here when it was a hospital. Confederate General John Bell Hood would spend time here recovering from a leg amputation. Union General William Tecumseh Sherman and his staff would spend 6 days here using the house as his headquarters.
That mannequin scared the crap out of me.
Take Dalton and advance on
Oh my gosh.
were formulated in the house. The house was a private residence until 2011.
So someone lived here until 2011. That's cool.
The Austin house was built in 1848
Okay.
by Crispy Austin,
Back on a
and
loop again.
originally had 100.
So if you take the golf cart tour for $2 more, you get to go inside. Down here, this looks like the well house. See the little stream coming in? That's unique. I wonder when that was added. Absolutely beautiful home. This was a mansion back in 1848 in these parts. It's cool that it's still standing here. Also got my EVP recorder rolling as well. I'll update you if I find anything later. So the mannequin really startled me when I looked in there. It looked like a real person. Can't really see through this part. It's got AC. Look at that. All right. Looks like an old corn crib. There's the prairie right behind. This is all part of the farm. Let's take a look in here. Old barn. And there's a sign that says tunnel. Nice and cool in here. The back side of the house. This actually may be the angle of the photo. May have been the back side. I hear gunshots up the road. Sounds like someone's having fun target shooting. You can see into this window too. Beware of the mannequins. They startled me the first time. Doesn't that look spooky? Check out the door here. Old skeleton key entry right there. That's neat. And here's the other barn up the hill. It's got a glass door. It's a log barn. Check out the old foundation, the brick. See if we can see through here. Little glare. See a little bit. Hold on. There you go. Kind of got a vibrate. Hold on, let me block it. That's a little better. There you go. I think I can walk around the other side. I think the lighting's better. Oh yeah, they got a wash sink over here. This actually might be better. There you go. There's an old bell over there. Wow, what a spread. This is beautiful. There's another old barn out there, which is part of this farm. I see why you chose this property. I can only imagine this was all a Civil War camp right out here. Sherman's men tented right out here as the general was inside. Huh. Got an old plow there, a rake. Last but not least, another barn. Looks like we can look through the glass. Did you hear that? Gun blast. Sounds like a shotgun. Oh, look at this. We got some old equipment. It's like an old drill or an old lathe there. Really neat. Some wagon wheels. This little plow. Oh my gosh, that scared the crap out of me. Oh man, there's a horse in there. Of course, that no good cheating blacksmith scared the crap out of me. So it's talking about the life of a blacksmith in the 1800s. By 1860, the United States Census recorded 7,504 blacksmith workshops and 15,720 workers in the trade. That's a fun fact for you. And here's one right here. And he scared me. That's pretty neat they got that in there. They should have warned you though. That's pretty startling if you don't know. No, that's okay. It's all part of the tour. Oh, you got a nice little blacksmith shop, and you got a little horsey in there. All right, going up the steps here. Crickety steps. I'm sure this porch has been rotted out a couple times in the last 175 years or so. Wow. Yeah, another skeleton keyhole. Oh, we can look through the window. Cool. Watch out for mannequins. Yeah, there's a spindle in there. And there's a fireplace on this side, so maybe that photo was taken over here. All right, so I always do this. Hey guys, I'm a Yankee. Actually, I'm a Devil Red. Not that type of Yankee. Hello. They never like that. And the last time I was at a Confederate Civil War hospital, Madison, Florida. If you remember that episode of Florida Roadside Attractions and Abandoned Places. Madison, Florida. All right, very haunting. Wow, what a tour. Ooh, that scared me. Air conditioner cut off. A little jumpy today. Yesterday really freaked me out. All right, so I have to do this one more time. We came in peace, we leave in peace. Please, no one, follow me home. Thank you, I appreciate that. Did you see something in the window? I saw something move. Freaky. Oh boy, let's get out of here. And of course, next to a railroad attraction, you gotta have a railroad car. Nice caboose. Looks like the door's open too. There's also a little car on the track here. Could be an old mining cart or a tunnel cart. Oh yeah, the door is wide open on this side. Oh look, dude, just laying out here. One of the keys I showed you for switching the track, just laying here. That's odd. I mean, it makes sense. Well, okay, look, you can see right into the car. Climb up there if you wanted to. I just did that not too long ago in Georgia, actually, South Georgia. Who remembers that episode? At the school diner. Yeah, exactly. I really enjoyed this tour. It was so good. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps this business, and it helps me, and it helps get that video out there. So I really appreciate that thumbs up. Always love supporting places like this and small business, and that helps to get this place out there and for other people to see it that may physically can never come here, also can live vicariously through the video. So yeah, appreciate the thumbs up always. I'm going to depart. I'm going to get into my little green Tennessee machine and head back to Florida. There's still much ahead. Thanks for watching, guys. Can't say that enough. And I just want to point out down the hill, you can see the Welcome Center, the church I first showed you. This is what the Reverend would have seen every day waking up. And also there is that hiking trail that we could have walked on to get back here. What a beautiful town, looking down at it. Must have been a nice place to live. Little did you expect a civil war to break out and you had to go back to East Tennessee. Yeah, well, those times weren't good for anyone. Whoa! We're gonna get a train. I don't know if I can catch it. I'm gonna get it from right here. It's about to go through the tunnel. Can you? I wonder what it's like to be in that tunnel and have a train go through the tunnel next to you. I wonder if it shakes. That's got to be freaky. Just going through the tree line. We should see it about right here. There we go. Look at that. We saw it all today, folks. It's pretty. If you lived here, you could see all the trains going by. Get the train as I'm going over the bridge. Check this out. See it up there. This is awesome. Took my hat off. Cool. Back on 75, I've got 530 miles until I get back to the Florida home tonight. So it's gonna be, if I stop, it's gonna be 9 to 10 hours. Right now it's 8 hours and 19 minutes. Probably gonna stop, at least stop for gas once. So I'll be getting home roughly about 10 o'clock and then I'll have to edit this video, so it's gonna be a late night. So just before getting to Buc-ee's, I realized I forgot to grab something to sleep on. There is nothing at the house. I was supposed to grab my sleeping bag and my pillow before I left the house this morning. I also left my cup that I filled with ice and set on the counter. I forgot a lot of things this morning as I was leaving Tennessee. I decided to buy some pillows and some blankets on Buc-ee's, or at Buc-ee's, so I splurged. Now we got Buc-ee stuff, babe. There you go. Did a little shopping of my own. Yeah, so I'm gonna sleep on this tonight. If it's not comfortable enough, I'll go to Walmart and get something better. But hey, it's a reason to splurge. There you go. Got my stuff. Look at that. That's a double rainbow. You see it? That's inside of Florida. It's starting to rain a little bit. And I'm back. That didn't take too long, right? All part of the plan. It was back in September when I originally bought the tickets to Metallica. Yeah. Thanks for sticking to the end, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you liked it, again, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe below if you haven't already done so, if it's your first time here. Appreciate that. As I always say, there's much ahead. And yes, I'm wearing a Pacers hat because the Pacers are playing Oklahoma City tonight in game 1 of the NBA Finals. Lifelong Pacer fan here. Game's about to kick up. It's 8 o'clock. Game starts at 8:30. I will get home to my Florida home about 11:30 tonight. Just gonna make a brief pit stop here and get going. Also, in sports, the Pittsburgh Steelers signed Aaron Rodgers. It's all been talk, but it's official just a few hours ago. So I didn't do this on purpose today, but there you go. Sports news. It all came together. If you enjoy this type of content, the Civil War history, the haunted stuff, I hope you enjoyed the video. That was a really fun experience, and I look forward to going back. All right, I'm back in Florida, but not for too long. I'll be here a couple days, got some plans. Know you're awesome, know you're loved, and no matter who you are, what you're going through, just know that there's always much ahead. Here I come.